Hello, I'm Randy Charb, President of Las Vegas Sotheby's International Realty. Today I'm here with my two wonderful leaders here, Robin Yates Gajjar and Thomas Marsaw. How you doing?
Awesome.
Good.
Fantastic. Oh, great, great, great. Oh my gosh, I've been so excited to have this conversation. We talk about what it's like to be here and what it's like to have all three of us under one roof, which I'm absolutely delighted for. So I figured I'd kind of just get to know you, let the audience get to know you, and know what we're doing around here. So kind of like to start with here, Robin, would you like to kind of just share with us, like, how was your journey here? Tell us a little bit about your background and maybe a little bit about your role at Sotheby's International Realty here.
So I have always wanted to be a Sotheby's agent, Las Vegas International Sotheby's. And I came through this journey by starting my own company, which I did, it's been 20 years ago now, which was Windermere Prestige Properties. I always wanted to create a luxury brand within Windermere. There was no Sotheby's International Realty at that time. And so that was my goal, was to create a luxury brand, to be in the top 10 within the city, more of a boutique company. And I had some talents in recruiting and educating and developing agents. And so I worked in that company for 18 years. And here I am 20 years later, and I am at Las Vegas Sotheby's International Realty. And that's how I got here.
Wow, fantastic. I know I've known your name for so long. I cannot tell you what a pleasure it is to be with you. I know you've built an agency of over 100 agents. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of different arms of real estate within your company, but we'll get back to that in a second. Okay. Mr. Marsaw, how you doing today?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I tell you what, every day I see you, you look like Benjamin Button. You get younger and younger, and your suits get cooler and cooler. I don't know how you do it, but
you pay me well.
Pay yourself well. Tell us a little bit about your history here. You've been here the longest of us three, by the way.
My history spans over about 44 years, but it's short and sweet. I've been in real estate since I was 19 years old. So had the pleasure of working with Robin in the early 2000s. Her and I opened up a very high-end real estate firm for a California broker or California owner out of San Diego. And we got to know each other well and worked together for a number of years then. Robin went on to Windermere, and I stayed with that company for a while. And then as we became the short sale capital of the world, I of course had to get into that, because if you weren't doing that, you weren't surviving. So I opened up my own for a while, Las Vegas Lifestyle Properties. Did that until I was lured back by Gene Northup, who was the former owner of this company, to come back and manage. And so I did that about 2020, and I have been here and got acquired by our new owner, Thomas Wright, and I have the pleasure of working with you too. So that's my story.
So we always believed, and we talk about the synergy that we have with having three of us in the office. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I like to call it the collective genius. And so it's very powerful to have three top-level executive leaders in one organization, because you have the brain power, you have 100 years of experience, and so there's that opportunity of getting those three people together to build a company and to really lead the company to the next level. It's definitely creating a level up company.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. I think the biggest benefit to having a leadership team versus one, which typically, you have a managing broker and they are the managing broker for the group. The advantage that we have here is that we actually get to be on a ground level with each and every agent. We're spreading these responsibilities over three people that are very capable and different personality types and different styles and different backgrounds. And it really is a collective group of experience that there's not one of our agents here that doesn't find a happy spot with one of us. And so we're able to get involved in transactions, we're able to take over challenging transactions, we're able to support our agents far more than any other single broker would be able to do.
And speaking of transactions, both of you, in fact all three of us, practice real estate on a day-to-day basis. There could be some offices that say, is that really a good idea to have leadership also practicing in the market? What would you say to that?
I think when you create a culture as you have, where there's respect and boundaries, okay, I think that the agents see the beauty in a selling broker, because we're in the trenches today, okay? We know exactly what they're doing. We know how to navigate through that. Whereas if I had retired from sales and was just a broker for the last several years, I might have been a genius then, as Robin says, but I don't know what you're going through today. And so for Robin and myself and you to actually be great tools in their business, we have to know what they're doing today. And so I think it's a huge advantage. Wouldn't you say, Robin?
So the benefit of being a selling broker in an organization like this is top level. This is big business. And so you need to be out in the field dealing with these top level negotiations and working with expensive properties. And so it really takes brokers who know what's happening out in the field, and you can't really know unless you're in it.
You know, I've actually, even myself, as a practicing realtor, I've come to both of you on occasions. I say, hey, you know, I really haven't run into this. What would you do? And I can tell you that it feels really good to be able to come and be a sounding board, or just, you know, giving your perspective, because it's always valuable. So I can only imagine other agents in this office as well. Many times agents come, and I've had this happen even recently, where they'll come and say, you know what, you're really trying to get this listing. Can you get on the phone? Can you hop on a phone call? Or you seem to know a lot about this aspect of the business. Maybe for myself, it would be in high rise, or it would be maybe in Summerlin upper end properties. And to be able to kind of go there and just help them with, just give them a little boost and a little bit of confidence for them to go get it, and see that excitement when they achieve that listing. It's priceless, right?
It is, without a doubt, yeah. And I think that kind of what comes to mind for me is it's a limiting belief to think that you cannot sell real estate and still serve your agents. That's a limiting mindset, and we do not have a limiting mindset here. And that's part of the reason that we're able to do this, is it does have to do with our mindset.
Right. And we talk about, we're not just giving management tips, right? We are acting as leaders, and for 3 of us, we have approximately 80 agents, plus or minus, in our office. These are 80 people that are serious about their business. They're full-time. They're not just, part-timers coming through. So they get the attention that they deserve. How do you guys feel about that dynamic, of having fewer agents?
No, it's not hiring new or part-time agents, and there is a minimum threshold income to come here, so it does get you the cream of the crop. And then we take those people that have gotten their training wheels off and are ready to expand their business. That's where the 3 of us come in, perfecting their trade. And of course, this brand is so global and so extensive that between good leadership and the brand, if you're looking to move your business up, there's no better place.
Well, let's talk about the brand. We're Sotheby's International Real Estate. What does it mean to you to be part of this brand, and where do you think the advantages are for those that that belong to this team?
So I think the first thing that comes to mind is it's Sotheby's International Realty, meaning that it truly is international. It's not, we're just going to put it on a website here and it'll go over all over the world. We have offices in very important international cities, and we have access to those websites and those agents all over the world. And so it truly is international. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me.
Right, and of course, what would you say to if someone said, do we only deal in luxury price, only in luxury price points? What does Sotheby's say about that?
It is not about a price point. It is, it's about a level of service. And I don't care, I've been in this business for 40 some years, and I don't know of any client I've ever met that really doesn't want good service. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we bring to the forefront. As long as we've been in the business, we're selling not only the kids, but now the grandkids of some of our original clients. And they're not buying high-end properties, but we certainly enjoy being able to bestow the kind of treatment that their parents got buying their luxury homes to those kids. I just sold a young couple in their 20s a house this last week, and I tell you, it gives me a lot of joy. But these kids, these young people, enjoy having good quality customer service, people that have knowledge, and the background that we have.
Yeah, fantastic. Speaking of resources, our group, Las Vegas Sotheby's International Realty, is actually part of a larger group, and we have kind of sister and brother cities that are all part of the same collective, and together as a collective, we are the largest franchise in the Sotheby's network.
Mm-hmm.
You want to speak to us about that?
So there's the three of us here, the leadership team here, but imagine in this larger organization, we have even higher leadership there, which they're very experienced in our owners, in our marketing department, in our legal department. We have attorneys that we can pick up the phone and call, and so that high-level leadership is what helps us develop the business here and help the agents, but also creates an incredible support for the agents.
Yeah. And then this campus, we opened in November. What do you think the advantage of our location is for the agents? What is your experience, or what have they told you?
Well, our advantage is that we had multiple locations prior to this building. We're in 12,000 square feet. We have housed all of our services here. So an agent can make one stop. They can visit marketing. They can visit administration. They can talk with any of the brokers. They can sit down with their transaction coordinator. Everything is here. There's no lag time. We have it all right here under this roof. And not only that, but the energy. I know that there's a lot of real estate offices you walk through and you could shoot a cannon and not hit anybody. Here, well, there's a lot of activity happening here and it's an environment, and of course the office is drop dead gorgeous, but it's an environment that the agents want to work here. We got so used to the at-home work that we've got agents that said, oh, I don't work in the office, that now do, because the environment, the culture, and the building is incredible.
So the resources that are available within the office, probably one of the most important ones is the marketing department. So we have our marketing department here, who is supported by a very large marketing team in our corporate offices. So we have people on site here. So you have someone you can talk to. We also have our transaction coordination department, and we have people here that you have a person you can go talk to, not only about your transaction, but about maybe forms that are required, that type of thing. But then they're also supported by this larger group.
Yeah, we have more of a concierge level type transaction coordination. A lot of transaction coordinators do just the basics. Basically, our idea, Randy, that you're instilling is that you need to be in front of the client. That's when you're making money. So everything that is not in front of the client, we provide. We make sure that there's staff and there's resources to do that, because that's when you're making money, is when you're actually in front one-to-one with your client. And so there's different time frames. That you've got the time with your client, you've got the time preparing for your client. But if it's not that, everything else should be done by a paid staff, and we've arranged that.
So obviously we pride ourselves a lot in the resources that we can provide to the agents. Obviously we have a great backdrop here. Let's talk about kind of what it's like. What's the mood? What's the culture? How would you describe it here?
It's level up. And a couple of agents have told me that after they've come here, they've leveled up in other areas of their life. Because an agent that joined recently, they were telling us that they were #1 in their company, and so they knew that they'd hit the ceiling. So they wanted to be surrounded by people who were better than them. It's the idea of, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to be around smarter people, because that means growth. And so the atmosphere in the office is about growth. And what's very exciting about the agents here is the collaboration. And what that means is that when you need help, all you have to do is reach out. You can reach out to us, or you can reach out to other agents, but there's always somebody there to help you.
I like what you said there, Robin. Instead of just reaching out to us, they reach out to each other.
Yes.
And they support each other. Tom, I know you've had a lot to do with that, because you've been here for some time. You've obviously built phenomenal relationships with many agents. Can you tell us, can you give us some examples of what that looks like?
Yeah, one of the things that is a requirement of this company when an agent comes on is the ninja selling system. And so our majestic group, our umbrella of companies, it's a mandatory situation. But that not only is for agents, but we as our leadership group, we ascribe to that as well for management. And that it is really a protocol on how to give service, the service that actually is hospitality, not just service. And so that, going through those classes, going through those installations, that's what helps us do best at what we do, because it really allows us to be an anchor to these agents, that we're a source of wealth of knowledge for them, but it also help. We don't just sit and wait for them to come to us. We do business planning. We want to find out what their goals are and help them attain them. And if they have set goals that they're not attaining, that's where this ninja selling comes on, so that we will sit down, because nobody wants to fail, and we certainly don't want them to. And if we have an agent that fails, basically we have failed as well. So we do our best to make sure that we're sitting down quarterly with them. That's where Robin's really instrumental as well, just to make sure that they're hitting their goals. Everybody has their life list. We have our why. Why are we doing what we're doing? And sometimes we get caught up in the minutia of everyday life in real estate, that we forget what that why is. And when we remind ourselves why we're doing this, it may be to put the kids through college. It may be to have a vacation home in Spain. Whatever it is, we get down with you and find out exactly what that is for you, because you're not just a unit, you're an individual, you're a human being. And we want to be a part of that successful life that you want to live.
Wow, I'm inspired.
Amen to that.
Absolutely, I'm inspired. So, okay, fine. Let's talk about personal development and how we support the agents. What does a week-to-week look like in the office here?
So you have your Monday sales meeting. So that's every Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And that starts the week, starts on time, ends on time. And that gives everybody kind of a shot in the arm. Everybody's clear on what they want to do for the week, and that gets the ball rolling.
And in the sales meeting, what makes our sales meetings different, would you say?
So I think one of the things that's great about the sales meetings is that the agents are also a part of the sales meeting. So in other words, an agent might have something really great to offer, or some experience that they've had, and this idea of collaboration and sharing, and they're happy to stand up in front of the group and share that information. And so everyone then has an opportunity to learn something new. So it's not just the leadership or the management team standing up and talking. There's never anyone from outside the leadership or agents here that is attending. And so the focus is truly on the agents and growing their business.
And I think we do things different than a lot of companies. Back in the old days, we did real estate tour. And, we have got a collective group of high, top-notch agents. We don't, as we said, we don't hire new agents. So when I can tell somebody that when you bring a listing, we will tour your property, we'll have 15 or 20 of extremely well-qualified agents walking through that house. This is something other companies don't do. Something else we do is situational role-playing to overcome objections, so that for an agent that maybe hasn't had a situation, when we do these role-playing that are really recommended from the ninja selling process, the agents don't feel like it's the first time it's happened with them, because they're hearing the objections. And when you have a panel of your peers that are seasoned agents in the business that can tell you how they've navigated through these situations, it's invaluable.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And obviously, if they start leveraging the tools properly, not only do you talk about personal habits and their personal development, then they get to toe behind this wonderful brand, right? Talk to us a little bit about some of the networks that we have by being here. Do they feel like you're on an island, or is there a lot of reach with this company?
I think a big benefit too is, we talk about our Monday meetings, and again, that's mandatory for the agents. It's not optional. We're here to grow your business, but you have to be a part of it. And so you've created a culture that people want to come to these meetings, but then we back it up by having a leadership meeting every Tuesday, so that we chart out what's happening that week, that you head and and have us do. And so I just think it keeps us on the toes and equipped. And you know, the great thing about having a collective group of personalities and leadership is I guarantee you, you go through the 80, 90 agents that we have, and there's not anybody that doesn't feel comfortable with one of us to come as a side point and say, Robin, I need this, or I need that, or I'm not happy how this is going, or gosh, I loved how this was going. And so we just have, you know, it's just, I think the leadership style that we bring to the table is really all encompassing.
Right, and Robin, you lead a group on Thursday as well. Tell us what that's about.
So it's the Ninja Skills Group. So Ninja is the real estate system that all the agents go through at some time in the first year that they're with the company. And then what we do on Thursday mornings is we actually practice using the skills. So it's real practice. So on Wednesdays we overcome objections, and on Thursdays we practice skills, our ninja skills.
Great. So what type of agents do you think would best thrive in an environment like this?
So I think the type of agent that would thrive best in this environment is someone who's already doing well, that wants to go to the next level, the next level, the next level, to challenge themselves, to see how far they can go in this business and how well they can do, and have a great life at the same time.
Ah, fantastic. And part of that, you know, agents can get there in different ways. I've seen successful agents that get huge funnels of leads, and they come in there and they kind of read through them. And then there's others that really build their business on relationships. Where do you think we are in that continuum?
I think that where we're at in how we encourage agents to build their business is through relationships. Always working with their sphere of influence, finding those people that trust them, and just growing those relationships.
I think a lot of agents miss the boat, and this is where we come in with our ninja training. You know, they buy leads or looking at Zillow or all the various things about leads, whether it's, you know, farming or door knocking or whatever. And we don't discourage any of that, but we really encourage you to have your database. That is the lifeblood of your business. And so it's interesting to me that the agents that are seasoned agents that do good business that really don't have a perfected database. So, you know, that's the first thing that we do when we hire an agent. As you know, Randy, you have us do an onboarding to where we sit with them. We make sure they know who does what to who, what the services are, how they go about using those services. But we also ask them about that database, because if they don't have one, we'll prepare it for them. Give us the names, we'll load it, we'll do it, because that is the lifeblood. There are people that know, like, and trust you, and why would you be looking for business over here when you've got a hotbed of business right within your database?
Fantastic. So what's next? What does the future look like in your mind?
So the future to me at Las Vegas Sotheby's International Realty is continuing to attract agents that want to work in this way, that want to be challenged, that want to work collaboratively with the other agents and the leadership team and the management team, and grow their business and have fun while they're doing it.
Yeah, fantastic.
And my feeling is from the ownership of this company to your direction, here as our local president, we're not after being the biggest. Absolutely not. We're not after numbers. There are plenty of companies that have the numbers. What we're after is the polished few that will really stand out and create a name that is unstoppable. And that's our goal.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing today. That was very insightful. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody that's watching this, was able to capture kind of the essence of, what we are, what's Las Vegas Sotheby's is about, and I cannot tell you how happy and proud I am of these two individuals here as leaders of this company. We really feel like we're in fantastic hands. Thank you very much.
And we're happy to be here.
Robin and I say this is our last stop.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.